everyone, it is Casey from the Crafted System. I wanted to make this video almost like a get to know the system thing. We'll do meet the altars, I think, in like individual videos, because there is absolutely no way to get everybody to front in a short amount of time. Sometimes it'll be like months and months between when someone fronts, and some people don't front, and some people don't want to be on social media at all, or like mention like nothing. So I'm just going to go over some of the people that don't mind being talked about. I can give you like tidbits of stuff that I know about these people, but I haven't been fronting very much because I tend to go on a little on the manic side, and it's been summer, which really is manic time for us. I haven't been fronting very much because me fronting is distressing. Even on the medication we're on, they're doing some studies now that are showing that there are certain altars that don't respond to medications the same way. So we think that's what's happened with some of our I don't know if you can hear a little one in the background, but some of the meds don't work as well for me, so I'm only really allowed to be fronted when I'm calmer. So this is me at probably my calmest that I'll be, but there are definitely aspects of everyone that I feel like I know a little bit. Some of the names I was looking at, like, I have no idea. Like, Camille, I don't really know very well. But, okay, I'm getting distracted. So, the people in our system that are okay with being named that I can remember are Adam, Cassie. We have a little that comes out a bit more. I feel kind of comfortable talking about her, but not like disclosing her name or showing her on here. There's Casey, me, hi. There's Shay and Sage and Trixie. I'm reading Kat, Quinn, Clarissa, Laura, Karma, Sasha, Lucy, Keisha, Star, and Camille. Again, there are more people, but they're more like emotional parts, and they don't want to be talked about, and that is fine by me. So Cassie was the first one we knew about. I've talked to her about her a lot. She, like, in the inner world is very, very thin, very straight black hair. She is so sweet and caring. She just has so much pain. She's too sad to cry. She has that energy. Like, she's so depressed and so heavy. But she's really good at handling sadness. So when we're feeling really sad, she's one of the best people to front that can really help the body move through that and know how to handle it. She's gotten much better. A lot of her coping mechanisms when we were younger were pretty harmful to the body, but now she is really good about taking care of the body and everyone. So she's almost kind of like, I wouldn't say maternal, but very mature emotionally for her age in the system. Originally, she came about when we were 13, but she has kind of aged to 17. Yeah, so that's her. Then there's Adam. Adam is light skin as well. They both are. So everyone in the system, for the most part, if I say they're white, they look white, but they're still mixed in some way. Because our trauma had to do with our blackness partly, a lot of the alters we have are white appearing because in our kid brain that seemed safer. It is safer. So a lot of the people are really, really light skinned. You wouldn't know they're mixed unless you asked. Back to Adam. He looks like an Abercrombie model to me. Like if you think of like a late 90s, early 2000s Abercrombie model, that is like what he looks like, with like the surfer blonde hair, like flipped to the side kind of vibe, very fit. 18, I think he's 18. Very much a big brother energy, not a dad energy, but a big brother energy. Very protective, but he's really good at handling paperwork, handling emergencies, things like that, where emotion doesn't need to be in the picture. Like it needs to be very cut and dry. He's amazing at that. So does mainly that. And of course we have our little that we talked about in here a lot. She's amazing. Oh, I guess I should go over, like, I don't know how I want to, like, introduce everybody, because there's so much to say. Everyone's their own, like, whole person. So I guess I'll go with, like, what comes to mind. So with Cassie, what comes to mind is gray and black are, like, her colors. That's what she likes. Mims, you want to be in the video? Yeah. Got string all over you. Adam really likes like modern, like black and white, very like aesthetic, modern. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, and then for a little, the one that I refer to the most, like sparkles out all of the way, just all of it. Emmy, stop. She's trying to get like right at my window, but she's knocking everything over. So I really like very natural things. Like, I came about during a time where we were very much into incense and getting into crystals and that kind of stuff. So I really enjoy that. I really enjoy cleaning and having things clean. So that's me. Shay came about when we were working retail. I don't know like a ton about her. Like, we're not close, so there's a lot of like relationships in the system where one of us may not really know the other one like very well at all, or has seen the other person. So it's definitely can get confusing. Sage is so amazing. She's like the mom of the system. Even though she's not the oldest, she's very much that motherly caretaker. If a crisis is happening, she's like one of the first to come up. She handles, like, if company's coming over, a lot of times she'll front. If we're just generally having a hard time, she'll front. She was fronted for the most part for weeks, but since there's been so many of us coming forward that can handle a lot of the things that she's burnt out on, she's been resting more, which is wonderful. Then there's Trixie, and Trixie loves pastel everything. A lot of us in the system really like pastels and colors and things, but she is by far the most pastel loving, in like a cutesy way, not bright colors, just pastel, and not pastel like, I don't know how to explain it, because some other people like pastel, but it's more edgy. It's like pastel, but with that like gothic spin, and she's pastel in like a not gothic way, if that makes sense. And then Kat she's been printing a lot lately, and she's pastel, like I said, but in like an edgy way. She did her hair, and it's not the color she wanted at all. It was supposed to be pastel, but we dyed it 3 different times pastel, and it was washing out every time we would even wet our hair. Like, the dye would just fall out, basically. So we dyed it much darker. It's like blues and purples and pinks, and it's just like a mixture, just on the ends, and then our roots are like our natural brown color. Anyway, so our hair is not really what any of us anticipated, but it didn't come out right away, so hopefully it'll just fade to the color that she wanted. Quinn is her twin sister. She's definitely more just like gothic, straight up. Loves black. She likes our hair, but definitely would like pair it with, you know, a black band t-shirt and like you know, some like that style very much. And then there's Clarissa. I know she loves to party. Like, if we're ever at a party or something, she comes out. I don't know much about her, like we haven't met yet, but I do know that much. And Laura, I've met a lot. She's awesome. She's very calm. She has, it's like hard to describe the look of everybody because I don't know, it's hard getting all the details because I keep getting distracted because I keep going into Headspace to see what everyone looks like to really think about it. But Laura has long brown hair, kind of wavy. She just loves to lounge around. She's big lesbian energy. Like, she used to smoke cigarettes and just sit out and vibe. So if you knew us at a time where that was happening, that was Laura. Then there's Karma. Karma is, first of all, she's awesome. And the growth she's had is astounding over the years. But if you knew us when we were a little involved with people, we'll put it that way, that was probably Karma. She's very into our ancestry, so the hoodoo that is in our bloodline, things that have been passed down to us, both like spiritually and physical spiritual items and things. She's super big into that. She is about my shade, I would say. But everyone, like I said, is mixed. It just doesn't always show, doesn't always translate. But she was out for years at a time. And then there's Sasha, and she's relaxed but in like a plaid pajama pants. If I could pick a favorite item of clothing for her, it would be like a hoodie and plaid pajama pants is like her vibe. Messy bun vibing. The funny thing is she is really good at organizing and like planning and getting things done that may cause others anxiety. Like I want to do all these things, but there are certain things that I just don't do, like call a doctor, set up a dentist appointment, things like that, where it gives me anxiety even though I love to get things done. With her, she's able to do those things without having overwhelming anxiety and using so many spoons that we can't do anything else that day. Then there is Lucy, and Lucy is definitely inspired by, like, I Love Lucy, the show. She doesn't look like that, but I think as a kid, I kind of projected what I thought a woman should be and was like, okay, this makes a good housewife, this makes a good mother from that time period kind of thing. So Lucy is very much into the vintage stuff. We have a lot of vintage things. She collects vintage teacups. You know, we have vintage perfume bottles, and we went through this phase where we were only wearing our grandmother's cloak. Oh my goodness, this hair is stuck to my eyelash. We were only wearing my grandmother's foxtail vintage cloak with vintage gloves, like the kind with the double seam. We felt very fancy. So that's definitely her vibes. And then there's Camille, and I'll be honest, I really don't know very much about her. Like with Keisha too, I don't really know very much about her. I know they're both darker, but I don't know much about them at all. I've never met them in person. Never met them in Headspace. And then there's Star, and I know she's very ethereal, but again, I haven't met her, so I can't really speak a lot to her. A lot of the time, for people like me who don't get to meet everyone in Headspace, a lot of what I know of them are what other people in the system have said about them, my close friends and family, what they've said about them, and what they wrote down. Yes, sweet baby. She's like really wanting to be up here. Ooh. Emmy. I don't want to have to censor your butt. Emmy. Oh my goodness. Emmy, get down. I don't even remember what I was saying now. So these animals, I swear. So yeah, those are the people that I know of vaguely. Some I know much better than others. Trying to think of anything else. I'm starting to like hurt really bad, which can be kind of distracting and cause dissociation. Oh wow. I may actually switch sometimes talking about everyone can like trigger people either to come like closer to the front or to front. Why I yawn? No idea. No idea why I yawn when I switch. I don't yawn every time I switch, and I don't switch every time I yawn. Sometimes I yawn and it's just people getting like closer or leaving the conference room. Yeah. Apparently yawning is the thing. DID. I can hear Trixie right here being like, you already said that on this channel. Like, I have no idea what we've said on this channel so far. And that's kind of cool. Like, we can just repeat ourselves. It's fine. Usually I kind of know these days, like, somewhat of an idea of who's trying to front, but because I just listed off so many names and I was trying to recall and see everyone, there's so much commotion and everyone's so close to the front, it's hard to tell who could switch in. I know a lot of people describe switching and DID is very much like being in a car and having like passenger and people in the back and that kind of stuff. And I think it's totally awesome that people have come up with a way to kind of explain it. That is not my experience. The way my headspace is set up is like we have a conference room and inside is like, I'm totally gonna keep yawning. It's like a screen almost, like our eyes are a screen, like a window. Our eyes are a window, and it's a round conference room, and usually there's a couple people in there sitting on couches or whatever. We actually did some work. It used to be very sterile, like a business conference room, but we did a lot of work with our therapist, and he's helping us work on the inner world and make it a little bit more comfortable. So we've got couches in there and like a water fountain and like a tea and coffee maker and a microwave. So it's like a very relaxed vibe. Not everyone in our system can fit in it. Like if we tried to have an entire system conference, it would not happen. But so there's like a stage right where the window is, and it's like a half circle, and there's like an X. There's like X's on the floor, like a talent show or something, you know, where they mark the stage. There's like an X and the right in the middle, and that's the person who's like driving the body, who's like controlling what we're doing. That's what we call fronting. Co-fronting would be if two people are like right on the X together and they're doing everything together. I will say I hate co-fronting. It's terrible because not only am I hearing the chattering of people, we should do this, no, we should do this, no, we should do this. It's like two different people trying to steer the body. with their own agenda because they're two different people. So that is very difficult, disorienting, and we usually don't remember anything we do when we're co-fronted. If we're co-conscious, that's like ideal. That is when there's like someone right here in the stage area, and then other people are there, but they're in like the couches, hanging out, whatever. And so they're seeing what we're doing, and they may be talking and chiming in on what we're doing, but usually the people in the conference room will remember whatever happens when someone was fronted because they were in the conference room. So what happens when I call everyone's name is everyone ends up filing into the conference room, and people are walking. They'll walk up to the stage area, and so this little platform is like getting crowded with people peeking in the window and trying to get closer and closer. And so sometimes a switch, like in this situation where pretty much like just called everyone into the room, it's hard to know who is going to end up in the front because there's so many people so close to that one X. It's like if someone just shoves me over a little bit, they're fronted. So it's a real toss-up during situations like this. What I might do is just let it happen because I'm fighting it right now, which is why I continue yawning. But I'm just going to continue to get more and more dissociated and frustrated. So I'm just going to relax and let myself dissociate and see if I can get a switch. And if I do, then y'all will be able to see it. And I'll stop yawning. Okay, well, if I do switch, I love y'all very much. Thank you for watching the video. And I may see you sooner rather than later. Who knows? Okay. I'm going to try to keep my eyes open while I dissociate, but I may have to close them. All right. It's Sage. Hello. We're not done switching. I think we're good now. She was standing too close to me and we couldn't quite finish the switch, but now she's off to her room. Usually that works if we're not able to, sorry, I'm still grounding. If we're not able to kind of keep the switch, because sometimes it'll be like, it's not always like it's gradual, it's in and out, up and down. Yeah. So I'm like trying to get grounded. Yeah. Watching my cat give herself a bath is very grounding. So we're talking about everyone. Sometimes they know when we switch and we'll start calling out mama after we just switched from a completely different room. Like they're in their room right now and you just heard them. I don't know if you can hear them calling mama. Yes? What do you need? What do you need? A hug? Okay, well, I just gave you a hug 30 minutes ago, but I'll wrap this up and come give you a hug, okay? Okay? Can you be patient? Let's practice some patience. Give me just a minute, okay? Yeah, they can tell. Sometimes if I'm yawning, they'll go, switchy, switchy. They know I'm switchy. So, yeah. Camille is amazing. She's darker, you know, she loves Beyonce very much. I think the first time she actually was triggered out